G'day everybody, Simon here, Explosive Action, taking a look at the $3 DVD range at my local Vinnie's. It's an op shop, it's a thrift store, and it's got multiple copies of Scott Adkins' One Shot for some reason. And I noticed a lot of this as I was going through. Modern films mixed in with a bunch of old films. But so many of the modern films were duplicate copies, triplicate copies, and they were all like new condition. I have a feeling that a distro must have done a bit of a purge. In the CDs, I noticed these Doctor Who audio dramas. This stuff is really, really cool, but unfortunately they price them well above market rates. I'm not paying $70. Here's some of the more interesting DVDs I've found. This one is a Western series, Texas Rising. It's got a few good stars in it, Bill Paxton. Then we've also got The Commando with Michael J. White. I've been eyeing this one off for some time. It's not meant to be very good, but we'll pick it up. Also took a look at this one, Nine Bullets. It's got Lena Headey in it from Game of Thrones. Apparently she actually takes care of a child in this one rather than try and kill them. Dangerous. This one sounds kind of interesting. It's got a bit of a Mel Gibson cameo, or at least a small role in it. And also this guy here, Scott Eastwood, is in the lead. Hatching. Looks like an interesting horror. I like the paper cutout masks that you can see. See what this one's like. It's got a creature coming out of an egg. Could be good times. The Whistleblower. Looks like it's a mainland China film. Some kind of action. I'm not too sure. But looks a little bit interesting. Mandarin with English. Not sure if that's subtitles. The Requin or the Requin. And this is some kind of shark film. And it's where you can see where Alicia Silverstone has ended up these days. Very low rating on IMDb. Won't be getting that one. Three Kingdoms. Resurrection of the Dragon. It's got Andy Lau in it. Not too big on these modern periodical dramas. Probably leave this one behind. Blu-ray of Pandorum. I've seen this one some time ago, and I don't actually have a copy of it, so happy to pick that one up. Shoot 'em Up. This was a big deal when it came out. Big, glorious action film. And then Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Brand new and sealed. So let's take a look at this not too bad little haul here of action DVDs and Blu-rays. Got these from the Vinnie's store that you saw me in, and I also went to my local Salvos. I didn't get footage of that, but I picked up very similar stuff. So let's take a quick look. The first one I decided to pick up was Dangerous. It looks pretty dangerous. It's got Scott Eastwood, Kevin Durand, Famke Janssen, Tyrese Gibson, and Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson there looking very grisly and on the end, so most likely has 3 minutes of screen time. This guy is probably the main guy. I'm going to assume that's Scott Eastwood, but you know, I don't know him from a bar of soap. I did see he was in... he came up on my DVD profiler as being in something that I've got, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway, ex-con and reformed sociopath Dylan Forrester, Scott Eastwood, from The Outpost. Wrath of Man. There you go. He was in Wrath of Man. With Jason Statham. Good film. He's trying to quietly serve out his parole, and with a steady supply of pharmaceuticals and the help of his eccentric psychiatrist, Mel Gibson. Okay, he's an eccentric psychiatrist. It's a case of so far so good. When he gets the news his brother has died under mysterious circumstances, Dylan breaks free to investigate. With a dogged FBI agent, Famke Janssen, hot on his trail, he travels to the remote island where his family is living, but also on the way are a band of heavily armed mercenaries who want something his brother was hiding. Now unleashing his dangerous side as Dylan's only chance of staying alive long enough to get revenge. Yeah, it's your typical, just, you know, revenge action kind of thing. I'm usually all about this stuff. Like, yeah, 95 minutes, okay, it's about 6 minutes too long. I like a good 89. But, you know, cheap action, throw in some Mel Gibson, guys holding a pistol, just a basic DVD. A lot of them look like this. Like, local DVDs now for the B or the C tier stuff, they are back to basics, man. They don't even do... Remember when you used to get on the back of the early DVDs, it would say like picture disc or whatever? Yeah, we've reverted. We no longer even bother, but yeah, whatever. It's all good. The Whistleblower looks to be a mainland China film. It's in Mandarin, starring Lei Jiyan and Tang Wei, from the director of Finding Mr. Right. I don't know what the hell that is. Doesn't sound like something I'd watch, but Mark Li Jian is a mild-mannered Chinese executive living in Melbourne. What? This is an Aussie film. He meets up with an old flame Wen, that's Tang Wei, and the next morning her plane crashes. There are no survivors. 2 weeks later, Mark receives a mysterious phone call from none other than Wen. Having somehow cheated death, she's been forced to go on the run, pursued from all sides by mysterious conspirators. Now, with the walls closing in, Mark joins her and the two make a break for freedom. Nobody left to trust. Mark and Wen vow to uncover the truth. Academy Award-nominated producer of Crouching Tiger. So there you go. Is this a... I think it might be. I mean, he's living in Melbourne, but there's a whole bunch of... is that Me-R Entertainment? Yeah, I think that might be Me-R's logo on the bottom. It's very hard to see. Very, very tiny. Yeah, a shed load of locals down here. And yeah, Film Victoria helped finance it. So I guess partly shot down in Melbourne. And yeah, whatever. Cool. Chinese action, suspensey, thriller kind of thing. This one's a horror. I like the cover on this. Hatching. It's a cool cover. I thought the cutouts looked pretty cool, pretty intriguing. Is an official selection for 2022 Sundance. What horror lies between the cracks of a picture-perfect family in Hatching? 12-year-old gymnast Tinya is desperate to please her image-obsessed mother and fit into her carefully manicured life. It says like Stepford Wives kind of stuff. One day, Tinya, or is it Tinja? I don't know. Tinja brings a strange egg home and nurtures it until it hatches. Hatching. The creature that emerges becomes her closest friend and a living nightmare, plunging Tinja into a twisted reality that her mother refuses to see. Every frame of Hatching is a masterpiece of suspense, blah, 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 blah. Enjoyably gruesome, says somebody at the Decider. So, you know, there's a shot there of like a claw coming out of an egg. So this could be an interesting kind of monster thing. But yeah, give that one a go. Hatching. This one. Muru. Yeah. Cliff Curtis, Jan Ryan, Manu, I don't know who these people are. No idea who they are. Serve or Protect, a film by Teripa Kahi, who I am unfamiliar with. Very short blurb on this one. Inspired by actual events, Muru is the story of a local police sergeant, Taffy Taharu, played by Cliff Curtis, who must choose between duty to his badge or his people when the government invokes anti-terrorism powers to launch an armed raid on Taffy's remote Uwarera community. And you can see they've got some good old boys kind of flags and stuff going on down there, so with horses and things. So yeah, not too sure what to expect on this one, really. But I did quickly look it up on Letterboxd and it had some favourable reviews, so I figured for $3 I'll bring this one home. Oh, it's a screen printed disc. We've gone a notch up. Yeah, I mean, it could be a sort of like a get out of my town kind of action film. We'll see. Muru. This one I've been eyeing off for ages. So this is The Commando with Michael J. White and Mickey Rourke. But like on the credits on the back here, he's well last. But yeah, this came out. I saw it at JB Hi-Fi. I'm like, oh, you have a new Michael J. White. I'd like to get it. Shame there's no Blu-ray. And I kept putting it in the back of my head like, oh, maybe there'll be an international Blu-ray. And I just stopped checking because the reviews for this were pretty like meh, average, and I forgot about it. And then it's $3 at the Vinnies, and is another one of those really plain-looking discs. At least it's screen printed. But anyway, an elite DEA agent, Michael J. White, returns home after a botched mission and now must protect his family from a home invasion after they make an unexpected discovery in their home: a stash of money worth $3 million. The agent reassembles his squad of friends to save his family home, and a newly released criminal, Mickey Rourke, oh, he's the criminal in this one, and his crew come home after the stash. Stakes are high and lives are at risk as the agent goes head-to-head against the ruthless criminals and fight to protect his family. Ooh, it's a bit like a home invasion. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a war film, but yeah, looks a little bit more home invasion-y, and Mickey Rourke's there. Looks like he's got the same motorbike he's got in The Expendables. So there you go. The Commando. Next up, we've got a war film here, 3 Days in Malay. A lot of these are from Defiant. They just... I don't know what it is. I mean, My Salvos and the local Vinnies, they're unrelated franchise stores. They have nothing to do with each other, but they had big dumps of things from Roadshow and Defiant. Like, the distributor has just sort of purged a bunch of new stuff, like overstocks. Like, they're all made... They don't look like they're from someone's collection. They all look kind of new. But anyway... clear the base, hold the perimeter at all cost. In the early days of the war in the Pacific, a small group of US Marines find themselves defending a strategically important airfield in the Solomon Islands. What followed in October of 1942 was a harrowing 3-day battle when outnumbered and undersupplied soldiers fought against all odds to hold back the advancing forces of the Japanese Empire. Inspired by real events and true stories of bravery, 3 Days in Malay is an action-packed World War II drama starring Louis Mandylor, quite like, and Donald Cowboy Carone, who is in... Oh, apparently he's in Hiss. And Quinton Rampage Jackson from the A-Team. Oh dear. So there you go. A war-y action kind of film. 3 Days in Malay. This one's a bit of a sci-fi action. 57 seconds. And it's got Morgan Freeman. He shows up in so many of these things, little roles, I guess. I mean, he doesn't need to work. I guess he just likes doing them. I don't know. In the time-bending feature directed by Rusty Cundiff, tech blogger, Franklin Fausti, Josh Hutcherson, has a once-in-a-lifetime chance to interview his hero, the visionary tech guru Anton Burrell, Academy Award registered trademark winner Morgan Freeman. When assassins interrupt the interview and make an attempt on Anton's life, Franklin saves the day, picking up a ring his hero drops during the struggle. After trying it on, Franklin soon discovers the ring isn't for just show. It gives the wearer the ability to travel 57 seconds into the past. With the power that Anton Burrell used to find fame and success, or rather on his hand, Franklin uses it to make the most of every minute, living events over and over to get them right. His new ability might be the only key to taking down those tried to kill his hero. 57 seconds. Sounds like a lot of waffle to me. Sci-fi action nonsense here. But I'll give these things a go. Another 95-minuter. This one has been quite rubbished, but I wouldn't mind getting a bunch of these things, these Liam Neeson sort of like dad thrillers. But this one, Ice Road's been kind of rubbished. Whatever. There's standards of people wanting Liam Neeson doing Taken, and there's my standards, right? So we're going to see how I go with. Lauren Fishburne's in here. What could go wrong? Take the red pill. After a remote diamond mine collapses, Ice Road veteran Mike McCann, Liam Neeson, quickly assembles a skilled team of Ice Road drivers, Lawrence Fishburne, Marcus Thomas, and Amber Midthunder, great surname, to rescue miners trapped underground. With only 36 hours of oxygen remaining in the mine, the countdown is on to complete this impossible mission. Convoy of 18-wheeler trucks embark on the treacherous trek across the ocean of thin ice, faced with the imminent risk of cracking ice, avalanches, and pressure waves. One wrong move could have deadly consequences, although sometimes the real threat is the one you don't see coming. So I don't know. Look, whatever. It's another Liam Neeson, and I need to get all these. He's got fucking dozens of the things. This one, I don't know. This one, the cover just made me go, what is this? I don't know. It's got someone called Tyson Ritter. I don't know who that is. It's got Megan Fox, everyone's favourite, and sort of gaudy purples and pinks. And oh my god, what am I doing? Look, boobies. Not really. She's wearing a top. Johnny and Clyde are madly in love. They're also killers on an endless crime spree. Where have we heard this before? But they get more than they bargained for when they plan to rob a prosperous casino run by the cunning Alana Hart, who has a secret and very deadly weapon at her disposal. Sensational Megan Fox, sensational, from Till Death, which wasn't bad. Rogue, I quite liked, and Transformers, get the fuck out. Stars with Tyson Ritter from TV's Preacher, I've heard of that series, Robert Lasardo from TV's Prison Break, and Avan Jogia from Zombieland Double Tap. Oh, Bai Ling. Good old Bai Ling, she's still doing things. In this twisted action thriller from the producers of The Irishman and The Last Son. Irishman was cool. Alright, so there you go. Yeah, look, I don't know. It looks like it's going to be a funny one, but I don't think it is at all. So, Johnny and Clyde. It's probably going to hurt. Anyway. More Mel Gibson here with Panama. But this one, from the director of Crank. So, maybe we'll get some mindless, explosive, craziness, because I love Crank and the sequel. A decorated ex-Marine, Hauser, which Hauser? Cole Hauser, is sent undercover to Panama by his former commander Gibson to complete an arms deal. In the process, he becomes involved with the US invasion of Panama and learns an important lesson about the true nature of political power, inspired by true events. It's a pretty crap-sounding blurb, to be honest, but, this is a Madman disc, got a bit of a inner sleeve kind of thing. Printed picture disc on that one. Yeah. Also available on Blu-ray, apparently. Panama. I don't know. Have you seen this one? Let me know what you think. And this one, I don't know. This one kind of threw in as a bit of a whim. It looks a little comic booky, which is, kind of not what I'm into, but Arch Enemy. It also kind of looked interesting. So Max Fist. That's Joe Manganiello, a local drunk who claims to be a superhero from the planet Chromium Dioxide. He tells anyone who will listen that he has pulled through into a wormhole, falling through time and space, and dropped to Earth without any of his powers. No one pays any attention to Max. Why would you? Except a teenager named Hamster Skyland Brooks, who can't get enough of Max's stories. When Hamster and his sister, played by Zoli Griggs, get in trouble with a vicious drug syndicate led by the manager, Glenn Howerton, the manager, Max takes to the streets in a brutal vigilante hell-bent on proving himself as the hero no one believes him to be. Like grizzly-like guy, he's got his pistol out. It's got strong themes, violence, drug use, and coarse language. So, I mean, it ticks the boxes. And it's from high voltage pictures, which did a whole bunch of the Seagulls. So, you never know. Onto the 3 Blu-rays. These 2 are obviously some of these older titles. These not newer releases. They've been around for a while. Quite a long time with this one. Pandorum. I think I saw this when it came out. I don't remember anything about it. But like a, sci-fi horror thing. I don't know if it's like an Event Horizon. I can't really remember. I think it was kind of in that ballpark. But you can tell these old Blu-rays. I mean, they're just the design of the things. An Icon Australian company doing a Blu-ray. Don't do it so much anymore. Don't fear the end of the world. Fear what happens next. 2 astronauts, Dennis Quaid and Ben Foster, awaken in a hypersleep aboard a seemingly deserted spacecraft. They have no memory of who they are or what their mission is, but soon realise they are not alone. As they uncover the spacecraft's deadly secrets, the astronauts are forced into a desperate fight for their lives as it becomes clear that survival is more important than they could have ever imagined. I vaguely recall it being pretty decent, but there you go. And again, like, you got an old important notice, update your firmware. The old Blu-rays were pretty funny. So when did this come out? Probably 07 or 08. Oh, 2010. 2009 film, came out in 2010 on disc. There you go. So that's reasonably old for a Blu-ray. Pandorum. This one's a DVD upgrade for me. I've seen this a couple of times. Shoot 'em up. Good fun. High level violence, rated R. Kind of earns it. But a very old Blu-ray again. Look at that blue on it. And this DVD myfun.com.au. That URL doesn't exist anymore. Dive into the most thrilling blast of action excitement ever put to film. Well, intense, gritty, and undeniably fun. This pulse-pounding adrenaline rush is so shamelessly over the top, it would make even John Woo jealous. And that was in quotes from Variety. When the man known as only Smith, a gorgeous streetwalker and a maniacal hitman, gets swept up in a deadly game of cat and mouse, it sets off an explosion of armed thugs, flying bullets, and non-stop action so big it will blow you away. And it comes with a bunch of features, so yeah, happy to get a little upgrade on this one. Because the DVD I've got is it's quite old. I mean, it's probably actually the same age as this Blu-ray, but yeah, I think they were $5 Blu-rays. I think the Vinnies charge a bit too much for the Blu-rays, but whatever, it's $5. And the last one, this was new and sealed. I just cracked the seal. The new Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. Kind of unexpected to see that brand new and sealed for a $5, so I picked it up. Bursty with action, comedy, and spectacle. A charming thief and a band of unlikely adventurers undertake an epic heist to retrieve a lost relic. Things go dangerously awry when they run afoul of the wrong people in this hilarious and action-packed thrill ride critics are calling the best movie of the year. They would. Starring Chris Pine from Star Trek. I don't mind him in the Star Trek remakes. He did a pretty decent Kirk. Michelle Rodriguez, she's always good fun. And Regé-Jean Page from The Grey Man, and Hugh Grant from The Gentleman. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, Hugh Grant. He can sometimes be funny, just don't be romantic comedy kind of guy, which I doubt you will be. This is just going to be big budget, Dungeons and Dragons reboot kind of stuff. I liked the sequels, the direct-to-video Sci-Fi Channel sequels of the first film. So, here we are with a proper reboot. Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Amongst Thieves. Apparently it's alright. That's what I picked up over the Vinnies haul today and the Salvos haul a couple of days ago. Just a bunch of DVDs and Blu-rays. A lot of dollar store kind of cheapies. Though, yeah, $3 store cheapies. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. Hope you enjoyed this miniature little DVD and Blu-ray video and a quick shopping trip as well. If you did, please like, subscribe. Check out this thing. And I'll see you next time.